Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Bible Study Minute. Today we're taking a look at Esther chapters 1 and 2. And to get the timeline of where we are in the book of Esther, we have to back up a little bit from where we've been in the book of Daniel and in the book of Ezra. So we see like King Darius and Cyrus on the throne and all that kind of stuff. Well, King Ahasuerus is the father of King Darius that we see in the book of Daniel and that we saw in the book of Ezra. So that just kind of gives you a bit of the timeline that we're looking at here. So here's what's going on. King Ahasuerus is holding a feast. It's a great feast, 180 days, roughly 6 months, for his officials, and they're just partying, having a good time. The wine's flowing freely. And at one point, he decides to call in his wife, Queen Vashti. She refuses, and he confers with his officials to decide what to do about this. They eventually decide that she needs to be removed as queen so that all the other women don't revolt in the same kind of way that she did. And he agrees with this, does this. And then after cooling down, he realizes, all right, I need a queen to replace her. And this begins a search for a new queen. In the midst of the women that he brings in, we are introduced to Esther. And Esther is a woman who we see finding favor left and right, all leading up to the event of her eventually becoming queen of the Medes and Persians. And so that's kind of where we're at in the first 2 chapters of Esther. And then we're also introduced to Mordecai, Esther's cousin, who serves in the palace in Susa. And we see him working, doing what he's supposed to do, protecting his cousin Esther. But then we also see him protecting the king as he relays news of a possible assassination attempt on the king. And then this is recorded in the book of records. So what we see happening here is ultimately a book of the Bible where God's name is not mentioned at all. But that is not to say that God is not at work or moving in the background. And that is really the main point here in the book of Esther, is that even though we don't always see God, he's always working in the background, orchestrating events, or organizing the details to accomplish his purposes. And we're going to see as we go through the book of Esther that God is using both Esther and Mordecai to accomplish his purposes, to save his people. And in much the same way in our own lives, we might not always see God moving or know what he's doing, but we can rest assured that he's always going to be working and moving, especially in favor of those who love and worship him. So that's all I have for now. And until next time, grace and peace.